Let's go to a guy who's won this thing before. When he did, he shocked the world. I think this was one of those guys that a lot of people liked, but never thought that he had that kind of game. And then day of, he showed up, came with a different twist and wrinkle, and got it done. We go to Huntington Beach. He's a part of the so-called SoCal Mafia. Silk in Huntington Beach. What's up, brah?
Good morning, brah. The most likely to mention Bay of Pigs on Twitter, that would be Blase, but for different reasons. Now, you kind of mentioned it. I'm not the type of guy who goes after individual callers and has a ton of vitriol, but I would like to address the smack-off callers over the last few years. Most smack-offs, they end up being clone-on-clone crime, but that's not exactly my point. But I do want to address these guys. Who the hell are you? I don't know who these guys are. They only call once a year. They have no body of work. I never hear from them. These guys, they work all year for 3 to 5 minutes of material. They win the smack-off. We never hear from them again. If I spent the whole year just working on one phone call and just for a 5-minute performance, I'd probably be pretty good at it too. You could just ask my wife. I mean, these guys show up in the jungle about as often as the Eagles tour. I just don't get it. I know the show it's no longer a caller-driven show, and the interviews are great, and I get that. Was it too much to ask for Joe and the OC or Vic and NoCal to call the show twice a month? Can't Jay Stu find a monthly spot for Brad and Corona between a Dana White and a Bob Baffert interview? Am I the only one who has a hotline number? It used to be that the biggest topic on the show was the show itself, and the show has evolved, and that's totally fine. But I refuse to believe that Jay Stu is consistently up on smack-off invitees because they call too often. Would you guys please get off your asses and call the show? I mean, unless you only have one good script per year. We also used to say, ask not what the jungle can do for you, but ask what you can do for the jungle. And it wasn't just about airline tickets and flat screens, once a year. It was also about a weekly submarine sandwich or sunflower seeds. And while I'm about it, a memo out to Don Martin. Listen, my man, shake yourself. Get that 46-inch back to Best Buy, my man, and hook your boy Silk up with a 60-inch LED. Later, bye.
Out. Silk's out. All right. Silk is certainly not one of his stronger efforts, but I think he was just trying to make a point. Either that or he had no time to prepare anything this year. Silk was trying to make the point, yeah, you guys are great. Congratulations. You show up every single year, and oftentimes you win. Well, where were you all year long? You had an entire year to get ready for that phone call, an entire year to get ready for that performance. Who wouldn't be good if they had a whole year to work it? If they've won it before, it doesn't matter, Silk. They're exempt. They can. Vic and NoCal can show up once a year on the phones because he's won. Brad and Corona can show up once a year on the phones because he's won. Same thing with Doc Mike Totola. Whoever has won doesn't need to call during the year. It'd be nice. I'd love the input. But I don't have a huge problem with that. All right, so where do you slot him? He did get to the end of the phone call, and I appreciate the input.